Target Profile, SCP-4666, the Yule Man. Object Class, Keter. Good evening. My name is Dr. Stevens, and under instruction from 05-4, I have been tasked with creating a target profile for SCP-4666, listing what we know about the entity, possible methods of containment, and possible methods of termination. Let's start with what we know. First off, 4666 is only active for a period of 12 days each year, starting as early as December 21st and ending as late as January 2nd. This period is called a Weihnacht event, or White Night in the German language. In this time, the Yule Man will find a selection of homes to prey on. These homes will all have certain similarities. Number 1, each house will be above 40 degrees north latitude. Number 2, each house will be in a rural area, away from nearby help for the families. Number 3, each house will be completely covered in snowfall for the duration of the 12-day period. And number 4, each house will contain at least one child under the age of 8 years old. At the end of the Weihnacht period, 4666 will do one of two things. The entity will either A, torture and kill the entire family, with the exception of one child that the Yule Man will kidnap, or B, the entity will leave gifts for the children of the house. These gifts are always made out of the body parts of previously kidnapped children. For example, a hairbrush made with children's teeth instead of bristles was found, or a ball made from a child's severed head. It is still uncertain how SCP-4666 determines which children it will give gifts to or abduct. I theorize that it likely has something to do with specific traits the children have. It is the opinion of this researcher that more investigation should be done into the missing children to search for traits they all share. Abilities and anomalous effects. The Yule Man is able to instantly transport to anywhere north of 40 degrees latitude and potentially anywhere on Earth. How he does this is unknown, but it could have something to do with snow, as he is only ever seen in areas with heavy snowfall. The Yule Man is also incredibly strong, being able to tear off human limbs without tools or outside interference. The Yule Man doesn't seem to die from natural causes. Age and malnourishment seem to have no effect on the entity, and despite always being seen naked in freezing temperatures, it doesn't appear to suffer from any symptoms of hypothermia. And finally, SCP-4666 seems to be able to warp its DNA, or at the very least has had its DNA warped. Fingerprints from SCP-4666 have been found multiple times, but always show a unique double whorl pattern that shouldn't be possible for humans. Teeth suspected to be from the Yule Man have also been found, but were far too large for any human to possibly have. This would either suggest that SCP-4666 was a human who has warped into an anomalous entity at some point, or a non-human entity that evolved in a similar way to humans, much like SCP-1000. Until 4666 is captured and studied, there is no way to know for sure. Possible containment procedures. Given how little we know about SCP-4666, it is impossible to come up with a perfect containment protocol for it. However, given that we only have a small window each year to catch the entity, it is important that something be prepared in the event MTF teams manage to secure it. Since 4666 can appear anywhere north of 40 degrees latitude, it is essential that its containment cell be easy to construct with the materials that containment sites would have on hand, as they may get little to no warning of the Yule Man's capture. 4666's greatest feat of strength that we know of is being able to tear off a human limb. With that knowledge, a standard locked container similar to the one holding SCP-173 should be enough to hold it. Additionally, the room should be completely absent of water in any form, as it is possible that 4666 could create snow from it to transport out of containment. If our predictions are wrong, and 4666 does not use snow to transport itself, then containment may well be impossible without the presence of a reality-bending or time-manipulating SCP. Possible termination methods. Automatic assault weapons and small arms fire should be the first tested method. It is highly unlikely that 4666 will fall to simple gunfire. SCPs never do, but it should at the very least be tested. Incineration could be another possible method. Given the Yule Man's resistance to extremely low temperatures, it is highly possible that the entity is highly vulnerable to extreme heats. If that is the case, then complete incineration would be the most effective method of terminating 4666. SCP cross-testing is another viable option. Given the Yule Man's possible human origins, SCP-173 or 409 could both be very effective. Unfortunately, however, given how little we know about SCP-4666, it is entirely possible that none of these could work. The entity could be as frail as an old man, or as indestructible as 096. Until it is captured, we have no way to know for sure, but we should at least try. It is the opinion of this researcher that SCP-4666 should be terminated as soon as the missing children are found and brought back safe. This concludes the target profile for SCP-4666. As of the time I'm writing this, the first Weissnacht events will have begun in eastern Russia, and within 24 hours, the Yule Man will have chosen all of his targets for the year. It is essential that we find and contain this SCP as soon as possible, for the sake of all the children out there. This has been Dr. Stevens. Happy holidays.